Hi folks, Edward Darkslade here, Kid Stuff Films and Kid Stuff Games. And today I want to talk to you for a few moments about 4 games that we have coming out for the PC in a series called the Kid Stuff Games. They are designed by us at the studio. The main characters in the games are cast members of Kid Stuff Films. And so they are unique in the aspect that your character that you are playing is an actual person. These are all, fantasy-based games, mostly platformer in style. We have a running game in there also. And they are quite different than what you would normally expect. Gameplay is designed so it can be played by kids because it is Kid Stuff Games. But it's also designed so it's challenging enough for an adult, depending upon how you set your difficulty in each game. So what I want to do right off the bat is give you an example, show you what we have, and what is about to come out. And then after that, I'm going to just touch on really quickly what we're hoping to do with the funding. And we'll see where we go from there. What do you say? Check it out.
This is the game Deep Six. Stars Tina as a girl who got pulled into her favorite television show about a bunch of goofy creatures that live at the bottom of the ocean. But it's actually run by the director, who is the villain in this episode, or in this game. Is just checking out some of the movements here. The director pulls people into his TV show, and he turns them into characters and entraps them in the show forever, and he's able to keep his show because his characters are so engaging. Well, now we know why. Well, that was a trap right there, you see. So the object of the game is to reach the director, going through these different levels, starting in Bubble Canyon and going through, let's see, there's a pirate ship, there's underwater city, ruins, there's a scene in a submarine. There's a heavy current thing where she has to actually swim instead of walking. Each level has a different density in the water, so in some she can walk and some she can't. And there's even a pinball mini game involved. There's a couple of them, as a matter of fact. So that's Deep Six. This is Fahrenlands. It stars Hayden. She tells you a little story at the beginning of the game of how her grandmother warned her of the fairies of the forest, the Seelie Court, the Unseelie Court, and so forth, and never to step into a fairy ring of mushrooms. And she, of course, winds up stepping into a fairy ring of mushrooms, and she winds up in the Fahrenlands. So she basically, it's a side-scrolling semi-platformer. It's a run-and-gun type thing. The object is, of course, to escape the Fahrenlands. Now, it starts off in the fields here, and her only weapon is some fairy dust, generic fairy dust, which will stop witches and some of the little creatures, but not a lot of them. And she's basically just trying to escape out of this particular area to go into the next one. There's castles, there's swamps, there's all kinds of different locations she has to go through. And just massive quantities of perils. As in most of our games, it revolves around the perils. And so the object, of course, is to be able to make it past all of the perils and eventually escape. So that is Fahrenlands. Action. Good. Do it again. Ready? Action. Okay, that's good. Okay, this one is sketched, and this stars Dylan. And this one's a little bit odd. Well, this one's a lot bit odd. First of all, Dylan is the only character who's in color. The rest of the project is drawings, a bunch of sketches, some that he made, some that I added, some that I had some other kids do just to be for the background. And basically what it is he is a boy was sketching in his sketchbook all day until a blot, which is our villain in this one, decides that he doesn't really care for his drawings and pulls them into him, and now he has to escape his own drawings. Now, what makes this game unique, aside from the fact that it is in black and white and with only the character in color, is there are virtually no sound effects. This entire game is run off of music. The concept being two different forms of art, drawing and music. So there's no bang, boom, oof, kablams or anything like that. It is all music. This is also a side-scrolling, more of a platformer. It's not a run and gun, as he does not have a weapon, but later he will find different types of sketching pencils. And when he finds a sketching pencil, he's able to draw different shapes, square, circle, line, and so forth, and those will help him later on in the game. There are a lot of locations, and they get more bizarre as, he goes further along, because after the sketches, it starts becoming just like nondescript blobs and things like that, images that have no shape or specific form, and you'll have to deal with those. More of a challenge there, stranger creatures and so forth, and the creatures are limited to the imagination of an 11-year-old boy, so it can get pretty imaginative as time goes by. So anyway, that is Sketched. This is Carpeting. It's the closest one to being released. Couple of weeks, depending upon how things work out. In this one's unique because you have three characters, three kids on the same carpet. They were visiting a museum, and one of them was futzing around with an artifact, and they all wound up being transported to this world where the main villain has taken off with the key to get them home. So they have to chase after him. Now, this is a running game, basically. It's constantly moving left to right. The only control you have is the space bar, which allows you to rise up, or you release it and you will go down. And a magic missile. Yes, I know, magic missile, a little cliche, but that's what it is, and that's on the shift key. So you have only two basic controls. And as a running game, of course, you're trying to get through each level all the way to the end of the level. Unlike a lot of running games, you actually have bosses that you have to deal with, and the levels do change as you progress. There is a storyline that goes through here in between each level, a little bit more of the story. There is a conclusion to this game, which makes it also unique for a running game. The levels all reflect their specific genre. So, for instance, here in the cartoon area, Animated Anarchy, all of the hazards are cartoonish. The flying elephant, the little tornadoes that suck the players up and carry them away, the snake that is following you the whole time, the crashes, even the crashes are unique. Here's the Briny Deep. There's also a level called Circus in the Sky. There are two other levels that we're in the process of completing right now. Of course, you want to upgrade your carpet as you continue through the game to be able to make it to the more difficult levels. That's why you're collecting the jewels. Whenever your carpet crashes, you will go to the upgrade screen where you can purchase upgrades with the jewels that you've collected. This is a real fun game, and we hope to have this one out real soon. Okay, to balance yourself out, put your hands out like you're balancing yourself out. Okay, ready, and action. Cut. Action. Cut. Action. Cut. Move a little slower. Ready? Action. Cut.
So as you can see, our games are going to be fun. They're going to be challenging, and a couple of them have a neat little trick that we put in. You've heard of DLC, downloadable content. When you beat a game, you might want to download something to that game, provided there is a DLC available to add replay value. Well, a couple of our games actually add new aspects each time you finish it. Not a changing difficulty level, it's actually new objects and add-ons that go into the game automatically every time you beat it, up to a certain number of times, obviously. So they do have replay value. Most of them are scored games, so the replay value in trying to beat your high score and so forth. So this is what we're planning to do with funding. The main thing we need funding for is for distribution. Get the games out there, get them distributed, packaging. Some of this is going to be, of course, digital download, but we do want to be able to have a product that we can ship out to you. So there's, again, graphic packaging. I'd like to get something back to those kids who did these films. I mean, that's a lot of work. The filming process and their, acting, it's a lot of work. It's time consuming. Getting our product out to decent distributors, getting our product some advertising, just a bunch of things. So what we're asking for is not a ton, but whatever we get in there is going to be a great benefit. And the best part is if you donate anything higher than $20, you're going to get a copy of one of these games. And as it goes on, that'll improve also, and you can see by checking out the incentives. So that's what I have for you today. Take a look, think about it, read whatever I wrote. I don't even know what I wrote yet because I haven't written it, but I'm sure it's down there. And thank you very much for your time. Have a great day, and I hope to see you soon in the game.